He was at Hobart. He went to Hobart because he had 2 runners in the heats of the Hobart 1000, which they both qualified for the final, which is run tomorrow night. He'll be back in Hobart tomorrow. Tony, we've got 3 Group 1s tomorrow. We've got the Yolumbus Stakes, the Toorak Handicap, and of course the time-honoured Caulfield Guineas.
The old time-honoured. Righto, we haven't got a lot of time, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty about tomorrow. Which of those corporate marquees will I be gate crashing?
With a bit of luck, none of the ones I'm invited to, Tony.
Well, you've been invited to some of those, haven't you?
Yeah,
just get an invite, not me. Don't answer. All right, talk about Northerly and Private Steer and me. We're all on the spring outer. The great Northerly, for example. Fred Kersley gave us a champ, and then he gave us a chump.
Mate, chump's a bit harsh. You've got to remember the horse has won 2 Cox Plates, 2 Australian Cups, and a Caulfield Cup. He's one of the all-time greats.
Now, Shane, you're a member at Flemington. You know everything about the flowers out there. Just tell us what we're expecting out there, and just the colour of Flemington.
Yeah, look, it's a buzz at the moment, Flemington. I mean, the social set will all be in the bird cage or the nursery part of the car park, where I'm sure you'll be.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And of course, but all out on the lawns where the public can go. I mean, everyone dresses as nuns, as you know, dancers, whatever. They go out and have a great time. So it's going to be fabulous.
That's right. He had a tumble at that Moonee Valley meeting back in September, and he didn't realise. He just thought he had a bit of back pain. He went and rode at Turnbull Stakes on October 2, I think it was, at Flemington. Got through the first 2 rides of the day and couldn't go any further.
More importantly, who is going to be first horse past that post?
Starcraft and Glen Boss, Tony.
Oh, Starcraft and Glen Boss. We were bagging them a couple of weeks ago.
No, we weren't bagging them, just questioning Bossy's ride.
All right, well, we've told you when, we've told you who. Now you tell us why.
He's the best horse in the country by a long, long way.
Go for it, Anderson.
You've got 4 good rides tomorrow, including 1 ride for Ron Cook, who hasn't been in the best of health, but he's been on Peridan in the 5th, and he's been a great supporter of you over the years.
We're going to tell you everything you need to know to select a winner this Saturday, tomorrow, at the races.
Yes, that's right, coming up very, very shortly, the all-important Derby Day tip, Shane.
Yeah, but Tony, you can't hide behind the roses all morning.
Well, I can, because I look ridiculous.
You'll be the judge of that, coming up next.
Here they are with their reliable tips, Tony Jones and Shane Anderson.
Shane, I don't care if it's Flemington, and I don't care if it's the Derby. I feel like an absolute idiot.
You look like an idiot, mate, but it's the Derby, it's tradition. Put your hat on and enjoy it.
No, for the sake of tradition, for the sake of this segment, there you go. An idiot now from top to toe. Now, tell us about tomorrow's Derby, because it really is one out of the box, this one, isn't it?
That's right, Tony. It's the 150th anniversary of the VRC Derby, which makes it Australia's oldest classic, and it's fantastic to see last week's Cox Plate champion, Savabeel, chasing further riches. Friday night, she scored the drive on Sokiola, the champion pacer of Australasia, who last year Lance Justice trained and drove to win the Miracle Mile. Lance was suspended. Jodie picked up the drive, through the pole, went straight to the front, led all the way, and raced in the history books as only the 2nd female driver to win the Miracle Mile. Welcome, Jodie.
Time now for the all-important Melbourne Cup tips, and the late news from the track is that Vinnie Rose will start in the Cup. Underline the word will start. But if you're still wondering where to put your money, maybe Tony Jones and Shane Anderson can give you a hand.
Well, Shane, I'll put this to you. Is there a greater day on the Australian sporting calendar than this, the first Tuesday in November, here at the famous Flemington?
Tony, not just Australia's sporting calendar, but Australia's cultural calendar.
Australia's cultural calendar? Yeah, well, that'd be Blokes Day on Thursday. But anyway, we'll worry about that later in the week. Let's talk about the Melbourne Cup, your fondest Melbourne Cup memory.
1988, when I stood atop 2 Eskies high at the finishing post to see Empire Rose nail Natsuki.
88, you're going back a bit now, Shane. And 2 Eskies, you had a first up even then, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But what about Saintly in 96? That was a special day too, Tony.
Yeah, Bart Cummings, that was his 10th Melbourne Cup.
That's correct.
Went on to win an 11th, and there's room in Bart's heart for another.
And with a quick look at their tips for the day, here are Tony Jones and Shane Anderson.
Tony, it's good to see that in this last month I've been able to teach you one thing about racing, and that's to bring the right equipment.
You certainly have, Shane, and I've got to thank you for that, because today being Oaks Day here at Flemington, these little babies will come in very, very handy, let me tell you.
You might want to focus on this side of the track though, mate.
The hits and misses from the Spring Carnival.
Well, as you can see, Stephen Tracy didn't quite make it to Flemington this spring.
But coming up shortly, we'll recap on what has been a most eventful carnival.
Yes, the carnival is over. Almost.
Now, every week during the Spring Carnival, Tony Jones and Shane Anderson have taken us trackside for the latest racing news and, of course, their tips. So, how have they fared? The boys cast a critical eye over the carnival's winners and grinners.
Well, as the curtain is set to come down on yet another spring, we thought we'd take this opportunity to look at some of the best and the worst moments of the carnival. Best horse, Shane?
Mackay Diva, Tony, without a doubt. The great mare, she's raced into Hall of Fame status with her back-to-back Melbourne Cups.
It's Mackay Diva clear, and she's going to do
Yes, no doubting Mackay Diva there. What about your best jockey?
Tony, I'll give it a Chris Muntz on his ride in the Cox Plate on Savabeel. It was a gem of a ride and he summed the race up to perfection.
Savabeel the leader, feels the Omar and Stonecraft trying hard, but Savabeel.
What about you, Shane? How was your tipping over the carnival?
As they say, Tony, there's always next spring.
Indeed there is. You want to get some breakfast?
Yeah, your shout?
Oh, you did have a bad spring.
Incidentally, we should just mention that both of Shane's tips for Derby Day came home first, so he didn't have a bad spring carnival after all, but I'm not too sure about Tony.